Buenos dias and bonjour. Now, this bit of scripture that I'm going to share is coming from Revelation chapter 12. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. But for the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down." There is a very real power of the accuser, in the sense that you will be constantly reminded by the accuser and the minions of the accuser, because there is a very active demonic and telepathic network of those who have not been able to escape from their lives of sin, who have been trapped within a walk towards anything less than perfection. Those who have turned away for one reason or another towards the perfection of the Christ, who have not been able to get out of their comfort zone and release themselves from certain patterns of darkness. And I'm here to tell you that is a tool of ha-Satan. And keep in mind, Satan is a Hebrew word. It means adversary. And you can even take a step back from all of this Satan, God, Jesus, and look at this from a purely energetic perspective, from a Taoist perspective, with yin, yang. But for our purposes, this paradigm here in the West, we're most familiar with demons and angels and gods and devils and Satan and Christ and so on and so forth. But the power is very real. And it never stops. And the closer you get towards your walk in perfection, the closer you get to assimilating Christ consciousness within your life, the other force, the other polarity, ha-Satan, the adversary, will intensify its efforts to keep you away from that walk of perfection towards the light. And one of the tools that it does so is accusation. In one way or another, to get you to go back to that old walk towards non-perfection, to stay in the comfort zone of darkness, to live a certain lifestyle, the accuser will send his minions, and they will do all that they can to remind you, to accuse you of your former ways, your former energy habits and such. Be flattered. That is all you can do. And be marveled, wonder at all of the nuances of life, the things that we tend to overlook in a modern lifestyle, things of a psychic nature, spiritual warfare. All of that is very, very real. And it seems things are intensifying with the wheat being separated from the chaff. But part of the accuser is to remind people, to keep them, to whisper in their ear that they're less than what they are meant to be, to keep them distracted from their divinity within. But by the word of their testimony, and this is important, and this is why I share this message, is to provide testimony. I think sometimes for myself in some of these video messages, it's easy for me to become lost in the theatrics, perhaps, and get messages from other sources and read them and whatnot, and not really present a human, very realistic, down-to-earth sort of presentation and towards the daily struggle, the daily interplay, if you will. But testimony is very important, and it is very important for people in this day and age, this particular energetic space-time juncture, to testify and to share their truth in whatever way that they can, and to continue to not let thought forms of lower vibrational nature lock your consciousness. You must constantly testify, and you must constantly, when the heart urges you to go out of your comfort zone and perhaps put a word in someone's ear or make a statement about a situation, then you must follow that, or you will slip back. You must constantly extend the boundaries, push the boundaries, energetic boundaries, constantly walk towards perfection in the light. And the accuser and the minions and the telepathic avenues and networks of Hasatan, they're active, and they will do whatever they can to try to surprise you or shock you and whisper in your ear. But just take refuge in the Dharma, in the sense that living your life in a certain fashion was in observance of spiritual practices. That is the true armor of God. When you take refuge in your spiritual path, when you know the peace that has been brought to you, when the release that you have experienced from an old way of living or old habits or old mental ideas, when you have outgrown that and grown closer to the light, closer to perfection in your walk towards the light, you take refuge in that. That is what taking refuge in the Dharma, which is a Sanskrit Hindu term, but it's Dharma, or these spiritual, it's easy to, on one level, see it as spiritual laws, but these are just the armor of God. For me, it is daily study, it's daily introspection, or as known in the Toltec energy sorcery tradition of Don Juan and Carlos Castaneda, recapitulation. But it's a type of introspection, but it's a type of dealing with your reality and the thoughts and the energies that a person experiences, and where you place your attention. There's the first attention, the second attention, third attention, but how you place your attention, because we know that is where your energy will flow. And if you're mindful constantly of your own energy and the energy of your surrounding, and you are seeking to take refuge in the Dharma and your spiritual path, you will experience a type of grace that when the enemy sends the accusers towards you, you will realize what Revelations chapter 12 is meaning, that the accuser has been thrown down. The accuser has been done away with. And it's sad to see that is their destiny, to be locked in that energy forevermore, unless they do something to recapitulate and reconfirm their walk towards the light and the perfection of the Christ. Now, you can do so by hitting the subscribe button and leaving this video a thumbs up, and staying tuned for further information dissemination broadcasts from the Umbanda New Earth Ashram for compassion, strength, and the vanquishing of the accuser. For I tread scorpions, I trample scorpions and serpents. Namaste. Namaskaram, the bad serpent. Well, it's all good. It's all from God.